I alluded to both the fintech weeks, if you will, here and there, because it does really present us with a sort of contrast in direction of where each wants to take the industry. I want to get your first reaction to the proposals that Singapore has as far as crypto is concerned. Your initial take, and how does that affect strategy?
Thanks for having me, and good morning as well. For sure, Singapore has launched an extremely successful event last week. Was the Singapore FinTech Festival. More than 60,000 people were there. So much engagement and interest in the industry and in Web3 in particular, despite some of the market conditions. We've followed and worked very closely with the MAS on the evolution of the regulation that they started to put in 2019, which was a very fit-for-purpose regulation dedicated to managing digital assets. I think we support the vision of making sure we have responsible innovation, and at the same time, we protect consumers and market integrity. So there's a constant dialogue with the MAS, and we're very keen to engage with them to get the right outcome for the country.
So if they're proposing to curb retail participation in crypto trading, how does that impact your growth plans in Asia when it comes to user additions, Eric?
Yeah, so over the last few months, we added another 20 million users across the globe to reach 70 million users globally. We have presence in more than 100 countries. We're licensed across the globe in the US, in Canada, in UK, France, Italy, in Singapore as well, and other markets. So it's a small part of our business. We want to work collectively to create a hub here in Singapore because we're globally headquartered there. And so that's the engagement we're having with the MAS. But for us, we're a global player. We have huge volume outside of Singapore, so it's not a concern at this stage.
Well, speaking of outside Singapore, are you planning on licenses in other places? I'll mention Hong Kong. Is that one? Are you thinking about Japan too?
For sure, we welcome the change of stance in Hong Kong and trying to create a regulatory regime where retail traders can participate. I think it's great news for the industry. Hong Kong is a great financial center. But for us, we want to create a foundation of compliance and security in all the key markets where we operate. So we're licensed in the US, we're licensed in Canada, in UK, in France. I was just in South Korea just 2 weeks ago, and we are also licensed there, one of the only global players to be licensed. So it's really a matter of making sure every country you operate, you are licensed. You have hearts and minds in those countries. You have people to operate those licenses. And that's the key.
Otherwise, why would you do it? Eric, what I wanted to get out of you there was, what are the new licenses or potential new licenses that we could expect from Crypto.com?
Well, we have a pretty wide coverage today in all the tier 1 markets, but of course we want to continue expanding our offering in different areas. We just bought last year a CFTC regulated business for derivatives in the US, and we're trying to operationalize that license. There may be other opportunities across the globe on that front. So the goal for us is to bring cryptocurrency to every wallet. So we want to make the technology more mainstream. We want to reach more customers, and we want to make sure we provide them with the right tools to navigate the market conditions, sometimes on the bull side, sometimes on the bear side, so they have all the instruments to protect themselves.
Maybe walk us through just what the key parameters you're looking at right now and what you're aiming for in order to achieve that in-principle approval condition, and basically when you plan to apply for that final approval from the MAS.
Yeah, so in Singapore, we got 2 licenses. One is for DPT, which is for the crypto side of things. And we got a full license already, actually, on the e-money and card issuance. That's why we were able to launch our card program earlier this month. On the DPT side, there's, of course, several conditions that need to be fulfilled, but they're progressing very well. And we hope to get to a conclusion very soon on this front.
Right. The operating environment, and these could be 2 distinct things, right? We obviously know what's happening with price of cryptocurrencies. We know what's happening with the other tech companies. I'm talking about the other large platforms, the likes of Meta and Twitter, what have you there. I'm wondering whether the challenges we're seeing with those companies as a symptom of the underlying challenges affect companies like yourself. What are your challenges and what are your hiring plans? Because those 2 might be connected.
Yeah, so I think this year, everybody has noticed we've gone through a slightly bearish cycle. It's not the first one in our industry. We've gone through quite a few. When we launched our first product in Singapore, our Crypto.com Visa card, it was just the beginning of 2018. So we know how to navigate those challenging times. And what happens during those bearish times is that there is some form of consolidation, and some of the bad actors or folks that haven't put the right risk management practices in place are unfortunately out of the market. And it really drives people to companies that have done things the right way from the onset, that have set compliance and security at the foundation of their business, not an afterthought. And I think we're seeing it, and that's why we're still growing as a business, because there is a flight to safety and to people who have followed and anticipated that there will be regulation, and you have to act accordingly.
I also get too, I mean, we've seen the industry go through just like a string of scandals, whether it's the implosion of Terra, USD, this recent spat between Binance and FTX. I have to wonder, with the FTX now been hit by withdrawals after Zhao saying that they're going to sell their FTT holdings, is this potentially a big market event in your eyes?
I think at Crypto.com, we're really focused to grow the industry forward. So our goal is to build amazing products that will actually drive value for our customers. And that's what we're 100% focused on. You know.
But, well, okay, I know it's precise, not directly related to you, but what message do you think it sends to your very point that if you want to build a sustainable industry, and you talked about compliance, for example, which is a very important part of it, when you see two big players of your same industry almost go at it in such a sort of public space?
I think for us, the idea is to really support the industry forward. So we want to work together, and we work with all stakeholders, whether they are peers in the industry, in industry association, and I think we have to work together. I think that's the message, because we're stronger together. We're still a very early, nascent industry, so it's very important for us to collaborate. We also collaborate with stakeholders, with regulators, with government, to find the right solution to grow the space. If you think about it, last year we had 100 million customers in our industry. Today, we're reaching 400 million. It's great progress, but how do we get to 1 billion? How do we get to 3 billion users? That's what matters to us, and we should work collectively to drive towards that goal.
Okay, so I guess you don't want to comment on this. Let's talk about something that you're doing very well at, and you're getting a lot of momentum. Sports partnerships, right? It's no longer Staples Center. You know what it's called right now. What other plans do you have as far as sports partnerships are concerned?
Yeah, we're very proud of all the prestigious partnerships we've built to elevate our brand, especially since last year, whether it's Formula One, the Crypto.com Arena, which ex-Staples Center, UFC, 76ers, PSG, and many others. We've partnered with global and trusted brands that are the leaders in their category, and we're embedded and activating our brand within those sports in a way that talks to the fan. And it has created tremendous brand awareness, not only for Crypto.com, but also for the category overall. I don't know if you remember last year, when the Staples Center was renamed Crypto.com Arena, everybody was calling each other at all age groups. It was kind of an iconic industry moment. So it was fascinating to see. It has helped us tremendously. And I'm looking forward to the World Cup, which is coming in a few weeks. I heard the FIFA said there will be 5 billion viewers watching the World Cup, and Crypto.com is an exclusive crypto partner for that event.
Right.
So it's going to be massive for our industry. It's going to be massive for Crypto.com.
Well, who do you think is going to win?
I'm a little bit biased, being French, but I wish all the team to do well.
Before we go, Eric, I want to ask you about your ventures arm. Obviously, can you tell us a bit more about how much investment you made globally this year, and what's the target for next year?
Yeah, so we have about a $500 million fund to invest in kind of early stage startup in Web3. We've done about 80 investments to date, and it's really part of our strategy to help the ecosystem grow. We want to help founders. We want to help pioneers that are driving change, positive change in our industry. It's kind of in line with our global brand campaign. We want to help people who commit. Fortune favors the brave. People who are making a change and trying to bring Web3 to society in general. Because the value there is really the fact that we can share value more fairly and more equitably across all participants, whether you are a user of a product, whether you are a creator, whether you are a developer. That value can be shared, and you can own it truly. And that's what we want to support through our fund.
Real quickly, do you have a price outlook when it comes to Bitcoin?
What was it regarding Bitcoin? Sorry.
Price of Bitcoin. What do you think is going to go?
It's a great question. I usually don't comment on price, but Bitcoin is the longest and more secure asset we have in our industry. It's a great refuge for value. So I'm always bullish on Bitcoin long term.